Darling.
Happy bank holiday. I'm going to start sitting, so I'm going to mute everyone immediately. Okay. So good morning Femke, good morning Lucy, good morning Sandra, good morning Lauren, good morning Hannah, good morning Chloe, good morning Jade. Yay, Ella, good morning Ella. So let's begin in a comfortable seat whilst we wait to see if anyone else is going to join. And I hope everyone's feeling very proud of themselves for coming to practice on a bank holiday morning. So we'll just take a few moments of silence. So coming into your comfortable seats, making sure that you have either a block or a cushion near you, and sitting on a cushion or a block if that's comfortable for you. So as we take this time to center at the beginning of class, let yourself notice the quality of your breath. See if you can lengthen the inhale from your nose. And see if you can lengthen the exhale. So really allowing all the air to leave your body before you then start slowly inhaling back in again. Good morning, Amy. I think that might be Emily. Good morning. Inhale, reach your arms up overhead, let your palms meet. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Taking a moment with your hands at your heart center to dedicate your practice today to somebody for whom it is very easy for you to feel love. Let your awareness of that person fill up your heart center. Feel the presence of them with you now and throughout your practice this morning. We'll begin with one chant of Om. Inhaling fully through the nose. Exhale fully. Inhale for Om. Open your eyes. Namaste. So we will begin either in Supta Virasana or just recline, but you're going to want to take your block or your cushion and have that behind you. So if you have a block, you'll be able to put it between your shoulder blades. If you have a cushion, then you're still going to want it to be like where your thoracic spine is, so that you can feel the opening in your chest. And it's up to you if you want to keep your legs straight here and bring your arms out either side of you to help create this openness in the chest. Or if it's comfortable for you, you can bring your legs into Virasana, so the feet come either side of the hips and knees are coming towards each other, but if that's painful, you can let them be apart. and maybe your feet are tucked, maybe you are sitting on your heels, or maybe the feet either come out either side. So if you're coming into Supta Virasana, then you're also going to feel the opening in the front of your hips and down your quadriceps. But if that is not comfortable, just extend the legs, because what we're focusing on here is the space that we're creating in the heart. If you feel like there's too much strain on your neck, then just bring another cushion behind your head. Or you could even bring your hands behind your head. You're still getting that opening in the chest. And I want you to take some very deep, full breaths into your heart center. And you can employ any other technique here that helps you to really feel connected to this heart center. So maybe that's holding the person that you are dedicating your practice today in your heart. Maybe that helps you to feel the energy in your heart center. Maybe it's working with the color green and imagining that you're breathing green in and out of your heart center. Or maybe it's using the mantra for the heart, which is Yao, Yao. Or maybe it's just being still and focusing on the sensation of the openness you're creating in the chest. We are going to be working with some back bends today, so please be mindful, especially if you're aware that that is a problematic area for you. If you have any problems with your spine, then make the adjustments that are necessary for you. One of the incredible things about the physical practice of yoga is that it tells us what our limitations are. It tells us what our skeletal, what we're born with, what we're physically born with in terms of our skeleton and the capacity in our bones and in our muscles. And it also tells us about the experience that we've had in our body throughout our lives. So your body will be more or less flexible depending on both of these things that make up your physical body. And the amazing thing about that is that it is the same for who we are. We are the person that we are born as, and we are also the person that is the result of all of our experiences. So the physical practice of yoga on the mat is a way to help you accept where you are physically and to accept who you are. So be kind to yourself today. And let that practice of compassion for yourself stay with you off of the mat as well. Last few deep breaths into the heart center. Gently open your eyes and bring your elbows onto the floor, gently pushing into your elbows to bring your torso up, and then walking the arms back so that you can come onto your hands and push yourself up further here. Move your block to the side so that you can take it later on in the practice. And if you're comfortably there in Virasana, then you can stay like this. Otherwise, you can come onto your heels. If that's too uncomfortable for you, then come into cross-legged. Okay, we're going to inhale to reach the right arm up. Bend the right elbow and take the left hand to the left elbow, using the left hand to open up the right shoulder. If it's available to you, you can take the bind, coming into Gomukhasana arms. And release, extend both arms away from you, open the chest, move the arms gently back, and then switching. So left arm bends, use the right hand to help open that left shoulder that bit more, and taking the bind. If you can't quite reach for the arms but you still want to come into cow face arms, then you can maybe use the back of your t-shirt or a strap. But it's also fine to stay just using the right hand to open the left shoulder. Extend both arms out away from you. Bring them behind you so that you're on your fingertips, and pull the shoulders back, open the chest. Release and come up into tabletop. We're just going to take a moment to warm up the wrists. So first, just rocking forward and rocking back, being aware of the sensations running down the inside of your arm. Turn the hands so both fingers are facing to the sides of the mat, and then rock to the right, rock to the left. Moving with the breath, noticing any differences between your wrists, being mindful of what your body is telling you here and carrying that with you into the rest of the practice. Come back to center, and now turn the wrists so the fingers are pointing towards each other, and rocking again, this time starting in the opposite direction. So maybe left to right, or right to left, depending on what you were doing before. See how the rotation of the elbows inwards changes this movement for you, and it is going to be different for all of us. Coming back to center, and turn the fingers back towards the front, and then turn the fingers towards you, so that your wrists are now facing towards the front of the mat. And rocking forward here and back. Be nice and gentle. This is a good time to practice cultivating this kindness. It'll be a very intense stretch. You don't need to let it be super intense. You can just let it be very gentle. Know that that experience of being in your body is just as much of an experience as the more intense feelings of being in your body. We're going to come into some side planks today. So if you're feeling pain in your wrists now, then that may be a good sign that you want to take a variation in side plank to not come to the wrist, but always come onto the forearm. So we'll remind us of that variation when we come to it. Okay, back to center. And let's now take a few cat-cows, saying good morning to the muscles in your lumbar spine, opening the chest, And exhaling, push the floor away from you with your hands, with your feet, round the shoulders, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, lift up, opening. Exhale, rounding the spine, engaging the core. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now letting the hands slide forward and dropping your chest down, keeping your hips in line with your knees, coming to Anahata or puppy pose. So again, make this work for you. Your hands can be further apart, further together. You can have your head on the floor or your chin on the floor. But feeling the opening here of the space between your shoulder blades. And as you open that space, allowing gravity to pull the chest down. Keep lifting up through the tailbone so you can really enjoy this stretch to the lumbar spine. And then moving with the breath, inhale to come forward, drop the hips, push into the hands, lift up, baby cobra. Exhale, pushing back to puppy pose. Inhale, come through into cobra. Exhale, come back into puppy. Inhale, come down, drop the hips. And option here to drop the elbows, coming to Sphinx pose, or you can stay in cobra. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So legs can again be wider or closer together. That's going to change the sensation. If you're feeling a tinge that's too much in your lumbar spine, let the legs come wider or of course come down into Sphinx. Let your shoulders come down, feeling the shoulder blades pulling down the back and gently opening the heart. Come to lie on the mat and extend your right arm away from you, your hand in line with your shoulder, palm facing down. Use your left fingertips to push yourself so you roll onto your right side body and step the left foot gently back. So opening the right shoulder here, thinking about moving the chest up towards the ceiling. Keep pushing down with the right hand, and if you want more, you can extend the left arm up. Come back onto your belly. Turn onto your left cheek, extend the left arm away from you, palm facing down. Come to your right fingertips and come to lie on the left side of your body. And you can stay here or you can step the right leg back. An option to lift the right arm up. But again, being nice to your shoulder, don't force anything that feels too uncomfortable. You want to be able to breathe into the space in your shoulders. And exhale, come back down onto the floor. Bring your hands either side of your body now with your palms facing up. Inhale. And exhale, lift the legs, lift the arms, lift the chest. Coming into locust pose. Exhale, drop back down. Take a breath here. Feeling the belly push into the floor as you inhale. Coming away from the floor as you exhale. We're going to come back into that locust. So this time, interlace your fingers behind your back and you're going to pull the arms away from you. And on your exhale, let the arms pull the torso up. So on the exhale, come up. Shoulders sliding down the back. Exhale, release. Again, bring your other cheek to the floor this time. Let's take 2 full deep breaths here. Belly breath, so the belly pushing into the floor on the inhale and away from the floor on the exhale. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Bring your gaze forward. Tuck the toes and either push straight up to plank or come onto your knees. And then everyone, let's push back into downward facing dog. Giving yourself time here at the beginning of the practice to really think about how you can make this pose work for you. So bend the knees, look at your fingertips, and maybe see if you want to play with turning them further out, walking the hands further apart, and seeing if that changes the sensations in your spine as you then push the floor away from you with your hands. You want to be able to feel the shoulder blades moving away from each other and the wrists coming in. So the way that we can prepare for that is going to be different for all of us. So just take the time now to see what's the best placement of your hands. Once you feel like you have that, you can start to extend the legs. Start to bring the heels towards the floor, although they in no way need to meet the floor. We're going to move with the breath, inhaling, rocking forward to plank. Exhale, bend the knees, lift the hips up into downward facing. Inhale. Exhale, and here thinking about the movement in your shoulders as you bring yourself forward. Exhale back. One more. Extend the legs back. Come into stillness in your dog. Big inhale through the nose. And big exhale through your mouth. Maybe you can close your eyes here. Maybe you can turn the corners of your mouth up. Finding a smile. And then inhale, lift the right leg up. Bend the knee and open the right hip. Bringing the right foot towards the sit bone, trying to keep your shoulders square. And just look underneath the right armpit. Bring your gaze between your hands And then slowly, slowly bringing the knee towards your chest and then stepping the right foot between your hands, drop the back knee. So we're in this low lunge and come onto your fingertips or palms on the floor. Gently lift the chest, gently pull the right hip back, feeling into your groin, into your hips. And then pushing down with your right big toe, engage in your core, come up, reach the arms up. Can you sink more into your right hip? And then bend the left elbow, either opening the left shoulder with your right hand or finding the bind. You have to bind, pull your shoulder blades together so that the awareness is also in the opening in the chest. Release the hands. Bring both hands behind you, clasp the fingertips together and pull the arms away from you. Really breathing into the chest. Firm with the right big toe. Exhale, release. Bring both hands inside of the right foot and just maybe walk the right foot out a little further. Taking a moment here in lizard. Maybe lifting the back leg. And then turn the right toes out to the side of the mat and come onto the outer edge of your left foot. Walk the left hand slightly away from you and turn the elbow out. We're preparing for side plank. And then step the leg up. So if you had pain in your wrist, come down onto the left forearm. And you can either keep the right foot in front, you can stack the feet, and then inhale, lift the right arm up by your ear, open the armpit, and then cactus the arm behind you. And if you're on the forearm, you can stay here or come up for a moment to prepare for Wild Thing. So bend the right leg and step that behind you. Pivot on the left foot. Open your hips, open your chest. So no need to come into Wild Thing if that's uncomfortable for you. You can stay building strength in side plank. If you are in Wild Thing, lift the hips high. Bring the right hand behind your head. Open the chest. Engage the core. And everyone bring the right hand down. Bend the right knee in towards the chest. And step the right foot between the hands. Keeping the back leg extended now. Inhale, look up. Open the chest. Push the right hip back. Push down with the right big toe and inhale into high lunge. Maybe dropping down into your hips. Keep extending through the back heel. And then drop the outside edge of the left foot down, turn your hips, come to warrior two. So bending into the front knee. You may need to widen your stance, taking your time to make the right adjustment for you. Turn around so you can see me. And then extend the front leg, reach the right arm forward, drop the hand down, coming through Trikonasana. Maybe the hand is on a block, if you have one, on your ankle or your shin. Opening the chest up to the sky. Drop the gaze down. Bring the left hand onto your hip. And then start to inch the right fingers forward. Bend the right knee. And lift the back leg into Ardha Chandrasana. So if you want to use a block here, or even take hold of a wall or something by you to help you stay supported, then that is an option. Another option, if you're feeling stable, is to bend the left knee and take hold of the left foot or ankle, coming into half bow to open the shoulder. And then slowly bring the left foot down and bring it next to your right foot. Both hands onto the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Take hold of the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, pull the arms away from you and fold forward. Release the hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Step the left leg back. Step the right leg back. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, down dog. Again, making any adjustments that feel good for you. Inhale, lots of love in. Exhale, sigh out. Inhale to lift the left leg up. Bend the left knee, open the left hip. Gently look under your left shoulder. Close the hips and slowly bring the left knee forward and step it between your hands. Drop the back knee. Inhale onto your fingertips or the palms of your hands. Lift the chest. Shoulders back. Pull the left hip gently back. Untuck the back toe. Push down with the left big toe. And inhale, lift the arms up. Bend the right elbow. Either opening the right shoulder with your left hand or finding the bind. Release the arms, bring them both behind you, reach them away from you, interlace the fingers, pull arms away from you, open the chest. Release the hands, bring both hands inside the left leg, heel toe the left foot to the outside edge of the mat, staying with the back knee down, or maybe extending the leg and just taking a few breaths in lizard. Walk the right hand slightly towards the right corner of the mat, turn the elbow out, come onto the outside edge of your right foot and lift the left leg up into side plank. So you can have the legs together or bring the left leg in front of you, left arm coming over your ear. Of course, dropping the elbow if that feels better for you. Pull the shoulder up towards your ear, open the armpit and then bend the elbow away from you. Extend the arm back up and maybe you can lift the left knee and step it behind you to come into your wild thing. Otherwise, stay working inside plank. You can bring the left hand to the back of your head. And then moving from the core, bring the left hand down and bring the left knee in. Step it between your hands. Push through the back heel, push down with the left big toe, open the chest here, and then exhale to come up into high lunge. Drop the right foot down and come into your warrior two. So big stance, you want the back foot to be, the front heel to be in line with the inside of the back foot. And bring your arms out. Opening the hips out to the side. Sink into the front knee. Extend the front leg. You may want to inch the back foot in, reach the left arm forward, coming into Trikonasana. And then drop the gaze, bring the right hand onto your hip, and bend the left knee, start to walk the fingertips forward, and then start to lift the back leg into Ardha Chandrasana. So if you're just wobbling, leg coming up, leg coming down, just be with that. It doesn't matter. Just playing with your balance. And of course, taking the back foot if you want to come into bow. Last breath here, and then slowly start to drop the right foot next to the left, turning the hips forward, bringing the right hand to the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. And in this forward fold, you can take hold of the elbows, you can take hold of the toes or the ankles, bring the hands under the feet, whichever variation you want, and then totally let the head and the neck drop down to the floor. Inhale. Release the hands, halfway lift. And then come onto the balls of your feet. Start to bend the knees and extend the arms forward. Wrap the arms around the knees. Bring your hands behind you so you can sit down. And bring the feet one side of your hips so that you can come up onto your knees. And we're going to come into camel pose, Ustrasana. So first just bring the hands behind you, so onto your sacrum. And maybe you can bring the fingertips to point up and gently push your hips forward and gently bring your elbows together. So that's step one. Gently pushing the hips forward and letting the chest open. So let's all take a few breaths here with the eyes closed. Feeling this sensation of openness in the heart, in the chest. And either staying here, or you can drop the hands onto your heels, either tucking the toes or feet down, but keep pushing the hips forward. If your spine is telling you to come back up, please listen to it. You're on your heels, slowly release the heels and come back up. And everyone drop the heels, the bum to the heels, and come into child's pose. So moving the spine the other way now, being gentle. Start to look up, and there's an option here for headstand if that's within your practice. If it's not within your practice, we're still going to come into an inversion but without having to worry about balancing the legs. So if you want to come to headstand but you know you need the wall, then you can move to the wall now. And please only come to headstand if it's within your practice, because I'm going to talk us through staying with the feet on the floor. So if you're staying with your feet on the floor, then wrap your hands round your elbows, and you want that distance to be where you're going to keep the elbows at. Bring the hands to the floor, and then interlace the fingers very tightly, and bring both your pinky toes onto the floor. And then that little basket that you've made, that is for the crown of your head to fit in. So bring your head into that basket with the kind of middle of the crown of your head on the floor. And you can stay here, you're still having the blood flowing the other way, or you can lift the hips and start to walk the feet towards you. And there's no need to try to lift up. You can just stay here, focusing on pushing the forearms into the floor so that the weight isn't on your head, but it's on your arms, and then you're going to feel your shoulders opening away as you do that. If you want to play with your balance, still no need to lift the feet, but just gently rocking onto your toes, and then rocking back onto the balls of your feet. You're going to engage the core as you come onto your toes. Dropping onto your knees. If you're in headstand, you can meet us all back in child's pose. So maybe this time bring the hands either side of your body. Inhale, look up, extend the arms and push yourself up into downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg up, look between your hands, step the right foot through, drop the back leg, inhale into low lunge. Let the hands come behind you. Clasp the hands and move them away from you, opening your chest, opening your shoulders. Release the hands, bring both hands inside, walk the left hand slightly out and turn onto the outer edge of your back foot, come up into Vashisthasana, side plank. So again, staying on your elbow if that's more comfortable. And maybe you can lift the right knee up. Maybe you can bring it into a kind of tree. And maybe you can step that leg behind you, turn your hips up, coming into wild thing. Moving from your core, bring both hands back down into plank. Push back to downward facing. Inhale, right leg lifts. Step it through, this time rising up into high lunge. Turn both toes towards the left side. Inhale, reach the fingertips up. Exhale, fold from the hips. Hands in line with your shoulders. Extend through the spine, look up. And exhale, walk the hands in line with your feet. And let the head drop. Elbows are bent as if you're coming into Chaturanga. Push into the outer edges of your feet. You can bend the knees. Legs can be very wide. Or they can be very not wide. An option to come into tripod headstand if that is within your practice. If you're not coming into tripod, then gently look up, walk your left hand over to your right ankle, and then reach the right arm up behind
behind you, and maybe drop that hand onto your left hip. So kind of revolving into this twist over to the right side, using your left arm, your left hand to pull you into that twist. And then if you're not in tripod headstand, walk back to the left leg, right hand onto the left ankle, and reach the left arm up. Maybe bring it to your right hip, twisting here, looking over your left shoulder. If you are in tripod, then come back down. We'll all extend one more time, and then drop the head down. Walk your hands over towards the left foot. Bring the left toes forward so that you're preparing for high lunge. And then right hand out to the right corner of the mat. Come onto the outer edge of your right foot and come into side plank. So whichever variation is working for you. And maybe stepping back into wild thing. Coming back down into plank, lift the left leg up, step the left leg through, rising into high lunge. Hands down. Step the left leg back into plank. Drop the knees. Bring the feet together, knees as wide as the mat, into extended child's pose. Connecting with your breath. Inhale, look up, walk the hands back, and walk the hands all the way behind you onto your fingertips and lift the chest. Bring your torso back up, drop onto your sit bones and bring the legs in front of you. Scoot yourself forward, and we're just going to come into a very, very gentle Paschimottanasana, gentle forward fold. So you can bend the knees, or keep them straight if you want to be a bit more active, and just let the head drop here. So rather than thinking about having to lengthen through the legs, releasing from the spine. Release. Walk your hands behind you and come to lie on your back. And we're all going to come into bridge. So one hand's distance between your heels and your sit bones. Knees are parallel. And gently lift the hips up. And you can either bring the hands underneath the hips or interlace the fingers. Keep opening, lifting the hips. And exhale to release. If you have a block, then take it now, or maybe you have a cushion. And bring that underneath your sacrum. So the block isn't on the spine, or the cushion isn't on the spine, but it's underneath your hips. And just open your arms away from you, or bring them to the side of you, relaxing into this pose. You can stay here by all means, or if wheel is in your practice, then coming into that now. But if not, enjoying this beautiful release as you support your hips with the block or the cushion. If you are coming into wheel, then bringing your hands by your ears, elbows in, lifting the hips and coming onto the crown of the head, maybe walking the hands further back, and then coming up when you're ready. If you were a wheel, coming back down, and if you are in supported bridge, removing your prop, and we're all gonna bring the knees into the chest, gently hug them in, giving yourself a big squeeze. Closing your eyes, going inwards. Let the person who you dedicated this practice to be in your awareness. Maybe you want to verbally say out loud, I love you. Or maybe you can just make that expression inwardly, giving yourself a big hug. And then releasing the arms either side of your body. Let your hips, your knees come over to the left side. Gently look over your right shoulder. Doesn't matter if the knees are on the floor, the shoulders on the floor. Just releasing this twist. Bringing the knees back to the chest and over towards the right side. Gently looking over your left shoulder. Back to center. Extending the legs, bringing one leg to one corner, the other leg to the other corner. And maybe you want to stay with your arms super wide. That feels good. Or you can bring your hands closer to your body, relaxing into our final pose, Shavasana. Letting the body sink heavy into the floor. Gently letting energy come back to your body. Letting your inhale lengthen. Feeling movement come back to your toes and your fingers. Slowly bringing your legs together and inhaling to reach the arms up overhead. Giving yourself a big stretch full of gratitude and love for you and your practice. Bend one knee and gently roll onto the other side. Pushing yourself up to seated with the eyes closed just for a few moments more. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Inhaling fully. Exhale fully. Inhale for on. It's my absolute pleasure to see you all on Bank Holiday Monday and to share this practice with you. Thank you so much for your energy. Hari Om Tat Sat.